guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle. Leah is starting the show off with your favorite and mine, Tim Pool. Today is the 3rd of May, 2019. I wanted to go live about this yesterday because I was so furious. I was so angry. I can't even. So we have a lot to cover because we haven't been live since Sunday, but a lot happened this week. To me, though, this is kind of the biggest news. It affects everybody around the world. Calm, take a breath.
If you guys were living in a bubble, or you just, maybe you're not plugged into the Matrix as much as we are, which is totally understandable, and a lot of you only get your news from here. If you don't know, Facebook had already banned InfoWars and Alex Jones' official page, but he was allowed to have a personal page.
Right.
Milo was still on Facebook, even though he was not on Twitter. And Laura Loomer was off of Twitter, but still on Facebook. Well, let me just let Tim Pool tell you is kind of what happened.
Do you want me to turn this on here? Because they're not going to be able to hear it.
Yeah. So he doesn't. Here's the bad news that I really have to tell you guys. If you mention Alex Jones in a positive manner or share his links too often, they will take down your page.
Right.
It's
like it's been. You said that they posted that as a legit thing.
Yeah.
Unless you are sharing Alex Jones videos to dissent them.
Right.
Okay. To say things against them, then they will take down the post. Like, who's reading that? That can't be a bot. That has to be a literal individual person.
Well, unless there's some sort of algorithm where they take all of Alex Jones' shows. And then if the Facebook algorithm picks them up,
no, that's what I'm saying. But somebody that has to review whether you're dissenting it or whether you're supporting
absolutely.
it, or what if you just share it and you didn't dissent it?
Right. But third-term abortion is okay in this country.
Unbelievable.
So Tim Pool kind of had a really good take, and so did Will Chamberlain. But bottom line is this: the reason this is so important to me, and the reason this should be so important to you, is because Facebook and social media and the internet as a whole has become, as Tim Pool will call it, the commons, where people meet together.
Right, a social gathering place.
And literally what they're saying is that Alex Jones can't show up and can't be there with other people.
Right.
Not because he's violent, not because he's hateful.
Right.
But they are saying that he and Paul Joseph Watson are violent extremists.
Well, and here's the deal. Who were you listening to yesterday? Will Chamberlain, I think. And I have to tell you guys, everything that he said was so spot on. And the term that he's using that I think has to be used here is that this is a civil rights violation.
Yeah.
Okay? Because unless it's not an antitrust issue, because a lot of people want to say that, and we've said that, we've thrown that out there in the past. It is literally, and it's not antitrust, it's literally a civil rights violation, because if you are saying something that is defamation of character or something that is literally illegal, then there are repercussions for that, legal repercussions that can happen. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so forth cannot be the peddling out of punishments for people, legal punishments. They would then have to report you to legal authorities who then would take action to you in real life. If in real life there is no legal action that can be taken against you for what you have posted, then you have to be allowed to enter into the common area. And this is what I wanted to say to people, and I probably will do a video and say this later, but there are many things. I love Alex Jones. I'm one of his biggest fans. There are many things that he says I don't agree with. There are many ways that he says things that I don't agree with the way that he says things. But I wanted to say this to all of my friends in real life and, clients, so forth, people that I literally know. There's not one person outside of my family who I can't say that about. I don't agree with everything that anybody says. I don't agree with the way that anybody says anything. I don't think anybody does agree with somebody 100%. And so when you say, we're just going to censor, boom, you can't join the commons area because we think that you're loud, obnoxious, and annoying, and what you say is mean.
Right. And
you're allowed to say mean things. If it is considered
Will
mean.
Chamberlain said that the UK, where Paul Joseph Watson resides, has very strong defamation of character laws.
Right.
And he should sue Facebook for calling him
Thank you.
a violent extremist.
Yeah, I agree with that.
For saying things like, modern architecture is stupid.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay, so
I'm
24
sharing this
hours.
on places y'all people should too.
Since Facebook banned Paul Joseph Watson, Milo Yiannopoulos, Laura Loomer, Louis Farrakhan, and a few others, and they've now got a kind of strange ally in the fight. Snoop Dogg posted a couple of videos to Instagram complaining about the banning of Louis Farrakhan and urging his nearly 33 million followers to post as many Farrakhan videos as they can because, quote, they can't ban all of us. But the story is strange, and it only gets stranger. Some left-wing journalists noticed that Facebook tipped off several news organizations under embargo. That means you can't release the news until a certain time. They noticed this because at least one outlet developed a graphic for the story. They knew
that is his music.
Before these users. This does make it seem like Facebook is taking coordinated action against consumers.
There goes my internet too. What he said about the embargo is that Facebook told these news outlets that they were going to do this ahead of time so they could write their stories, and they said, you have to hold this till we bam, and then everybody was out at the same time.
Right.
They did this before.
Right.
With Alex Jones. I'm experiencing interruptions.
To me, that seems totally wrong, that they should be able to give this to the press, to leak this to the press before they even tell the people that they're going to do it. Because if you have committed some sort of wrongness that Facebook is you should be taken off as soon as they make the decision. It shouldn't be a big setup where we do it all at once, you know?
Yeah, my internet has been acting crazy, but I also think it has to do with, like, these kind of things. So while that's coming up, I'll read an article. Facebook bans dangerous conservative figures but continues to allow leftist calls for violence. Although Facebook has begun labeling prominent conservative figures as dangerous and removing them from its platform, remember, Antifa is not dangerous, according to Chris Cuomo.
Oh my gosh.
Along with Instagram, the company still commonly allows leftist calls for violence to remain online. Facebook recently blacklisted a number of conservative figures from Facebook. And what's interesting is that in their announcement, they tied every single one of them to speaking to Gavin McInnes. And that was their tie to extremists.
You're kidding.
Extremism was Gavin McInnes.
So, but when has Gavin McInnes been prosecuted and convicted of violence?
Well, the Proud Boys, who he distanced himself from.
No, himself. He himself.
I know, but I'm saying that it's like 5 degrees of Kevin
That
Bacon.
doesn't work that way.
It does
Life
for them.
and legal proceedings do not work
but guess
that way.
what? Joe Rogan interviewed Gavin McInnes. Tim Pool interviewed Gavin McInnes.
Right.
Michelle Malkin is friends with Gavin McInnes and posted pictures of Gavin McInnes.
Right. So if they're going to do it, they have to do it completely across the board. I like here what Reluctant Recluse says. I can't stand Alex Jones' over-the-top delivery, but I support 1,000% his right to say whatever he wants.
Right. Yeah, totally. And here's the thing. I wouldn't call for Louis Farrakhan to be taken off.
No, I wouldn't either. And I think that man probably is connected to the devil. Yes, he's 100% connected to the devil. I can say that it's my show till they ban me. But, I mean, seriously, demons are around that man.
I know.
Okay? But he should be allowed to be until he commits some sort of act of violence, although he does incite violence.
He does, actually.
Okay?
He does. And,
Alex Jones does not.
This is really weird that I can't bring up this Tim Pool video. It's so...
You know, there was that video of Millie recently, and this lady kept going on and on and on about how this kid committed murder and killed these cops or whoever and did it because Alex Jones, and it went to court and all this, that, and the other. And Millie's like, okay, so is there proof there? Because in all honesty, if Alex Jones is responsible, if anyone is responsible for inciting violence, there should be some sort of repercussion there. But I watch Alex Jones. He never incites violence. He never tells anybody to do anything that is violent. Anybody can take anything that anybody says and turn it around and twist it and say, that made me want to go whatever, okay? I mean, seriously, there are things that people do all the time that make me want to go and punch somebody in the face, not because they told me to go punch somebody in the face, but because it literally makes me angry. That's different. I don't punch people in the face.
Seriously, everything is coming up, so it's not my internet. It's something going on with that video that I can't play, the Tim Pool video. So let me just explain to you a little bit what he said. He was saying that with the news embargo and the news stations getting information beforehand, that this was the highest level of coordination.
Mom
and
says you can go to
tyranny.
BitChute. It's in the notifications. I think she means that video. I'm not sure.
BitChute.
Which, speaking of which, when you guys do need to, and I would appreciate it and take it as a personal favor, if you are following us on resistancechicks.com, on our alternate channel, Resistance Chicks, if you're watching us on Resistance Chicks on Mass Faith 3, on Facebook, on Twitter, on BitChute, on Minds, on all of these other places that we are at in case it does happen. And you have to be able to find us somewhere else, because I kind of feel like it's only a matter of time unless something happens. Like, I think Alex Jones was doing a call for President Trump to, what are you doing? President Trump to kind of do something about this. Mm-hmm. But that being said, it's like, this happened yesterday, and I'm sure Trump didn't come out and tweet anything about it yet. If he's going to, and I think if he did, it would have to be something more covert about free speech and not about these people individually.
He tweeted out today.
What did he say?
What did Trump say today? What did Trump say today?
Stuart the Brit says go to Gab. Robert Bones says I don't like MSNBC or CNN, so I changed the channel. I follow the chicks. Thank you, Robert. Kelly PB fam, Eric says the Democrats twist things around. They do that all the time. Absolutely. Gonzola says the left incite violence all the time, and Silicon Valley gives them a pass. They call for the assassination of the President of the United States, and Silicon Valley does not see it as hate. Well said. That's a good question, Dale. He says, so if you two wear your InfoWars shirts, will you be banned or your live stream curtailed? YouTube hasn't said that they're going to do anything along that front. But, we're looking at Facebook right now. I don't see any. We just haven't come to Facebook's attention, I think.
It's been just over 24 hours since Facebook banned. According to the story, they banned these individuals for violating the policies on hate speech and promoting violence. The company is also blocking religious leader Louis Farrakhan, who is known for sharing anti-Semitic views, Paul Nealon, a white nationalist who ran for Congress in 2018, and conspiracy theorist Paul Joseph Watson. All of these individuals and accounts that represent them are also banned from photo sharing app Instagram. They include how Facebook claims they've always banned individuals that do this, but that's just not true because all of these people have been on the platform forever. And in the instance of Louis Farrakhan, he's been around for several decades preaching the same thing. So no, Facebook doesn't always do this. Exactly. They're lying. Bloomberg notes, when Facebook bans an individual or organization, it typically also removes posts from other users who praise or support them. In this case, a Facebook spokesperson said that people will be able to post about or praise these banned users, though they won't be allowed to share any of their views or opinions that Facebook considers hate speech or calls for violence. In the story from The Verge, we actually get some insight as to why they were banned, and this is where it starts to get really weird. The Verge says, Facebook did not disclose all of the incidents that led to the account's removal, saying that it had made the decisions following a period of review. The decision took into account the group's behavior both on and offline, the company said. Factors for the removal included engaging in acts of hate or violence, calling for or carrying out acts of violence rooted in racial or ethnic prejudice, describing themselves as the follower of a hateful ideology, or using hate speech or slurs in their profiles, having pages or groups removed previously, can also lead to account removal, Facebook said. But the company did point to some of the actions leading up to the account's removal. First, in December and again in February, Jones appeared in videos with Proud Boys founder Gavin McInnes. Facebook has designated McInnes as a hate figure.
Oh my gosh.
Yiannopoulos publicly praised McInnes and British far-right activist Tommy Robinson, who Facebook has designated a hate figure. Loomer...
We're done.
Okay, so hang on.
You're never going to see us again.
I know, right?
We can't say anything positively. Here's the thing. You know what? I thank God I'm not big.
And we have said that so many times. I know.
Because here's the thing: the most right-leaning people have said everything that Milo has said, or Jones has said, but just not with the same audience or with the same flamboyant personality.
Right. Well, and here's the thing: what you haven't told these people is that Laura Loomer is on suicide watch. We would never get to that point, but I can be honest. When our reach went from, we were gaining 100 subscribers a day, when every single video that we put out had a minimum of 5,000 views, and a lot of them reached 20 or 25,000 or 100,000 views, when we went from that to our probably standard 500, I love you guys, viewers that watch just about every video that we put out, when we went from that to this,
awesome.
You kind of like
imagine
if you were reaching millions of people per
we went
post.
Down about 75%.
Right.
But if you're down
least,
you're reaching millions of people, you go down 75%, that hurts. And so for Laura Loomer, she's been slowly taken off every single platform, and she has no place to speak, and she said they want her dead. And actually, it was CAR, the Council of Islamic Relations, that got her banned off of Twitter.
Amazing.
She is a Jew.
So I want to show you guys something really quickly. This is Jussie Smollett's Facebook page. Jussie Smollett, yes.
Incited to violence.
He had a hate crime.
He paid people to commit violence.
And he is still on Facebook. That is what drives me crazy. Like, I can't...
Hey, look, I'm using a straw.
I can't even understand the hypocrisy here.
They ban those in California.
Yeah, I know. The hypocrisy is, if you are right-leaning, you get banned off of Facebook.
So
Farrakhan was collateral damage.
No. He wasn't
for
even.
them.
Exactly. But what Tim points out, what happened is that everyone came out. Even the Washington Post had to post a retraction that said, far right, so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so, meaning they were given a list of all the people they were going to ban. And then somebody said in the meeting where they're going to ban all these right-wing, we have to.
And so they're like, you know what? Somebody has to be sacrificed here.
So let's
do be Farrakhan.
Louis Farrakhan. Yeah. But the Washington Post and all those, they didn't redo they just put in, we're putting in Farrakhan too, really?
Yeah.
And then they realized, oh my gosh, he's not far right. He's friends with Obama, Maxine Waters. Right. He's as lefty as they come.
Right. But they had to have a sacrificial lamb for the goat, whatever. That's what they had to have. They had to have it. Right. Because if they didn't, everybody would be really up in arms. But it worked against them because now you got Snoop Dogg,
In December, and more recently declared her support for far-right activist Faith Goldy, who was banned after posting racist videos.
Here's the thing that's really getting me. These people
can't even get it out.
are being banned because of the support that they say that they have for certain people.
Right.
So, in this respect, if I say I support Putin, am I gone? But how come people say Obama, went down and said, we have to have better relations with Cuba.
Yeah.
And obviously supported Castro.
And that is the issue here. There is no place that you can draw the line. Do you know where the line has to be drawn?
Yourself.
Yes.
Your own personal reactions.
I mean for them, for Facebook and Twitter. The line has to be drawn with legality, with laws that are already on the books. If you feel that somebody is on your platform that has committed a crime, you report them to the police. Then once they've been convicted of that crime, you take them off of your platform. That is the only recourse that these people are allowed to take. If somebody has not committed a real crime in real life on social media, okay, it can happen on social media, but it has to be something that is convictable in real life. If you haven't committed a real crime, then Facebook and Twitter have civil rights violations that they are committing right now. They have taken off of their platforms people that they disagree with politically. That is a civil rights violation. And like so many people are saying in the comments, Facebook and Twitter should be sued.
Especially for defamation of character, because you can't say Laura Loomer was taken off because she posted a video with Faith Goldy.
Right. Unbelievable. And has Faith Goldy been convicted of crimes?
No, but what's hilarious is the way these tech companies work is absolutely mind-boggling. Faith Goldie is allowed on Twitter, but she's banned off of Facebook. Laura Loomer was banned off of Twitter, but she was allowed on Facebook.
Right.
Paul Joseph Watson's still on Twitter, by the way.
For now.
And Tommy Robinson, I guess if Yiannopoulos publicly praised McGinnis and far-right activist Tommy Robinson.
Oh my gosh. Well, they have pretty much unpersoned Tommy Robinson. I mean, they have taken down his own personal websites.
Yeah.
Which, that to me should be illegal. You shouldn't be able to take off somebody's website unless they are inciting violence.
Show me one
and Tommy
place.
never, ever, ever incites violence.
Yeah.
UK has inciting violence laws that are very, very strict. If Tommy Robinson was inciting violence, he would be in jail right now.
Absolutely.
If he hasn't committed a crime that is convictable by, UK law, then you can't take him off. Hang on. Mama says, please like and share everywhere. You want me to read that one? Or did you have another comment, Mom? This will replay later on Resistance Chicks with the live chat. It will. Mom, there's got to be another comment. She pounded. Maybe I don't need to turn on. You guys need to turn on the live chat instead of top chat to make sure that you're getting all of the comments. Because sometimes they don't all post. Mom, I don't see your other comment. That's the only one I see. Kelly says, I got banned I can read it out loud, a year and a half ago for 30 days from Facebook. That happens to a lot of people.
So Will Chamberlain did a good video yesterday where he talked about how this is a civil right thing where you can't make black people sit at the back of the bus anymore. Right? You can't deny homosexuals from coming into your place of building. Right. And that's where people aren't, this is where people aren't getting it. You can't make people physically do something for you. Yeah. Okay? But to partake in a service that is already, public for everybody else, then you can't deny service. Right. To people. It's called civil rights. Will Chamberlain says, extremists, that's not an objective opinion or a reality. It's just pejorative, designed to stigmatize and scare people out of defending the target's civil rights. Right. Extremist. Right. Extremist. Well, Jesus was an extremist. Mm-hmm. Right?
Oh, he would have been banned off of Facebook and Twitter. Long time ago.
What is extreme?
Right.
That makes no sense.
Rip Baza says, Michelle, in the UK, normal people can't afford the lawyer fees to sue because the lawyers charge $300 a pound per hour. 300 pounds. I know how to read again. 300 pounds per hour, and there is no legal aid to pay for defamation cases. It's privately funded.
Platform access is a civil right. Will Chamberlain is a lawyer, by the way. And he just started a new website called Human Events with Raheem Kassim. Raheem was taken off of Facebook for 3 days on his lunch, and Wow,
that's so crazy.
This is why banning dissidents, just like our founding fathers wanted. Jack Bezovic says.
This is why I want to do a personal video for my friends on Facebook that I will share with you guys when I do it, because so many people, if you're not active like we are, like you guys are, finding out this information, you'll be totally fine if you just hear Farrakhan and Jones and these people you've never heard of before are banned off of Facebook. They must have done something really bad, right? If they have been. I trust people. I trust Facebook. I trust Twitter. If they're banning people, then they know what they're doing. They must be really bad people. And so I want to do this video because I want my personal friends to understand that this is 1984, that they are silencing people, gagging people. This is equivalent to book burning. It's actually worse than book burning, I think.
Right. Yeah.
You've stolen somebody's voice. If somebody has reached the platform of having millions of people that want to hear what they have to say, and you suddenly say to those millions of people, we don't care, you're not allowed to hear from that person anymore.
Right.
This is censorship at the highest level, and they do it based on their own political leanings and prerogative. These people go to the Bilderberg group meetings, and they decide this is what we want to happen. It has to stop here. But I want to give you guys good news. As angry as we are, this is going to blow up in their faces. Because the more they do this, and they keep pushing, they're like murderers that have committed murder, and they just keep doing it again because they have some sort of high. They're going to get caught. and it's going to blow up in their faces.
Finally, Donald Trump Jr. did tweet out, the purposeful and calculated silencing of conservatives by Facebook and the rest of the big tech monopoly should terrify everyone. It appears they're taking their censorship campaign to the next level.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, how long before they come to purge you? We must fight back.
Right. So Patriot Gallery we did a new blog on Isaiah 58 Ministries, and she wants me to plug it. Unlimited paper fiat, unlimited witches, wizards, black magicians who release hordes of uncountable demons on the earth. There's a link that she posted in the live chat there to resistancechicks.blogspot.com.
And we got to get the Trump and the administration to do something on this. Nick Monroe says, according to a senior administration official, federal regulators will not take action in the Alex Jones related cases. The preferred narrative is, where will the censorship end? As Thomas Massey, how long before they ban a congressman? Well, do something about it. I tweeted that to him. Like, you're an elected official. Yeah. Why are you standing there with like, oh, I can't do anything? You're seriously Congress. Do something.
Yeah.
Do something, or we're literally losing the republic. And I wanted to say that we're not, that we're going to win, because I have faith in God. So I'm glad that you guys are here, because literally this is what happens when you start to fumigate. Okay? The horrible insects come out. Everybody keeps asking, what happened? Somebody said, what happened to the internet where it basically policed itself?
Right.
And I said 2016 happened. Hello, you guys.
Yeah.
Hello. From the very beginning in 2016, December of 2016, Hillary came out. She had a meeting, and the DNC and the Democrats had a meeting with Facebook, and Zuckerberg was quoted as saying, we didn't sway an election.
Yeah.
They showed in the data. They're saying it was Russians, but it wasn't Russians. It was you and me.
Right.
Okay? I remember in August of 2016 saying, whatever, I hate Hillary.
Yeah.
It's got to be Trump.
Yeah.
I hated Trump. I didn't hate him, but Michelle and I made videos like he was just not a moral, upstanding guy.
Right.
And I believe he would flip. And a lot of people are wondering, but as long as they're against Trump and Trump supporters, then I know I'm doing the right thing. So it's helpful to know we're doing the right thing. But they met with Zuckerberg and they had these meetings. And so then Zuckerberg switched everybody's timelines up.
Right.
I've talked to normal people on the street, friends. They used to go to Facebook for their news.
So I want to address something here that Stuart the Brit says, and I love you, and he's a very faithful viewer here, but I do want to disagree with you here a minute. He says it's not book burning because we all have to choose not to give them our business. Well, since we're using books as the example here, let's say for a minute that Google and Facebook and Twitter have the only printing presses in town. They literally have the only printing presses. Now, you have to pay to get your book printed by them, but they are the only printing press in town. Okay, you can talk about BitChute, you can talk about Minds, you can talk about all the alternative sites, you can talk about DuckDuckGo, and I get that, but they do not give you what Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube and Google do. You can't get the same services from them. So it's not a matter of just choosing not to give them your business, because guess what? We have a pet sitting business, right? Our clients find us and message us using Facebook. We have to go to that platform, okay? In
Google.
In today's day,
Google, people find you. People are going to find me on DuckDuckStinkandGo. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
They find me on Google.
Right. And so they have made it impossible. When you get a new cell phone here in the United States, at the very least,
yeah,
it is set up for Google.
Yeah,
everything
it's a corner of the
is
market.
tied
It's called a monopoly
to Google. It doesn't give you an option of, well, would you like to have all your contacts brought up from some other whatever? Do you want to have, the maps tied with some other mapping service? Okay, everything. They have become a monopoly. It's kind of like saying, instead of, let's throw the books thing out of the way, because there are other examples that we can use. Let's say there's a grocery store, okay, a local grocery store, and you don't like it. It's a big box store. You don't like it, but the other tiny, tiny grocery stores literally do not carry the products that you need to use every day. And so you have to go to that big box giant store that you hate, that you do not like, that does things against you, okay? And then all of a sudden, they tell you, you can't come to our box store anymore. You we don't agree with your political leaning. So even if we have what you want and you don't like us,
Well,
you're not allowed to come in
here's a
anyway.
better
And so you go
example.
to this tiny little store and they don't have what
Here's
you
a
want.
better example, okay? Everybody drives a car.
Right.
What if the only gas station in town refuses to sell you gas
Exactly.
because they don't like your political
And so you have to drive out of town.
No, what if you like you
What if
literally
you can't
can't
get
drive?
gas?
You can't get
Right.
gas. You're stuck.
Because look at Tommy Robinson.
Yeah.
They have banned him from the internet altogether practically. Okay.
Right.
They have taken down his websites. He's had to start brand new websites up all over again several times. Okay. So it's not a matter, and I love you guys, but I have to tell you, the argument of, well, I just hate Facebook and I don't use it. That's literally not an option for some of us. Okay. Because I want to connect with my family members and my friends, and they are all on Facebook. By me choosing not to use Facebook, I can't connect with them in that way. I would have to send them messages to say, hey, I know we don't speak very often, okay, but since you've taken some pictures lately, can you send them to me? I know we were friends in 5th grade. Okay, but I'd like to see your pictures. I'm not on Facebook anymore, but could you send me some text messages of your pictures? It doesn't make sense. It's a service that you can't get elsewhere. They are a monopoly.
Well, and here's the thing: our whole life has changed, and
Right.
we should go back to, I believe, getting together with people and
Right.
face to face.
Right.
But that's not where we are. We're in the
I agree.
21st century.
Right.
And what happened was when the phone came out, there was like party lines.
Right.
And you couldn't like make somebody not get a phone line.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then
For our younger viewers, a party line is there was one phone and a phone line, and you all had the same phone number essentially. So when the phone rang, it rang in your house and 5 of your neighbors' house, and y'all picked it up, and then the person asked for who it was, and then supposedly everybody else hung up, but they didn't, and they listened in on your conversation
then they had
anyway.
switchboard
That
people.
was, and then it did to switchboards, but that was what the party line was.
Right. Okay, so here's the thing. When electric companies came out, when gas companies came out, they never existed before.
Right.
And they had a monopoly.
Right.
Okay? And so can the electric company say, I don't like that you're pro-life, I'm shutting your power off. Once you
Exactly.
have already wired your entire home.
Mm-hmm.
What's happened with Facebook and Twitter, they have wired our entire lives, and then they're cutting the power off.
Exactly. And
Because
that
they don't like your political
It's not
views.
just power. They're cutting off your income. Because
Right.
you look at somebody like when Leah and I started, and we don't really care because God provides for us. But when we started, we were earning a significant amount of money, and we were
From the
headed
ad
to earn
revenue.
an even more significant amount of money from YouTube.
Well-
when they shut down Alex Jones' PayPal, he can't process payments anymore. What else is he supposed to do? Okay? I mean, so they are literal. This isn't a matter of just not giving these people your services. This is how the modern world runs. And I understand that, Stuart the Brit, you're probably from an era like Leah and I'm sure you're at least our age, maybe a little bit younger or whatever, but you probably remember a time when life wasn't like this. And so it's very difficult for us to translate
However,
what's happening now
let me
through
tell
the lens
you,
of how we grew up.
here's
It's
the-
totally different
But
now.
here's the thing. In 2001, we had the World Trade Center bombing.
Right.
And all we had
We can
basically
call it a bombing. It was
at that time
planes.
was ABC, NBC, and CBS.
Yeah.
And we all got our news from that. And we all learned that
Right.
there were weapons of mass destruction.
Right.
And that Saddam Hussein was a horrible, awful person. And that we needed to wage war against radical terrorism.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that there were some dissenting voices. That Alex Jones, even back then, said,
Right.
we shouldn't invade Iraq.
But we didn't hear about him because he wasn't on any kind of platform that we all could. He wasn't on regular news. Wasn't even on cable television.
If it wasn't for YouTube, we would never have known
Right.
about the 7 countries in 5 years.
Right.
Never would it have played on ABC, NBC, or
Right.
CBS.
Right.
And so basically what you're saying to people is go back to ABC, CBS, and
Right.
those are the free ones.
Right.
Those are the free airways that you can get, the little box. Even the
Right.
government sends out the little free boxes
Yeah.
so that you can get those particular channels. You can get PBS, you can get ABC, CBS, and,
Right.
and if you're lucky, you can get Fox News.
Yeah.
Everybody can get those for free.
Yeah.
However, that's the way they've designed it, and that's what they want to get us back to.
Yeah.
And that's why they're shutting us down. They want us off of Facebook. They want us off of Twitter. That's why they're kicking people off of Facebook, kicking people off of Twitter, because this is the common place where ideas are shared.
Right.
We are connecting because of YouTube, and suddenly we're figuring out that oh my gosh, there's people who are thinking like us in Poland.
Right.
There's people like us in Italy. There's people like us in Hungary.
Yeah.
There's people like us all over the world. And we can stop. We are able to stop corruption.
Yeah.
We're able to get the word out about Monsanto.
Yeah.
We're able to get the word out about vaccines.
Which has made changes.
Parents want to know why did my child, a friend of mine posted that she had to give her child CPR after a vaccine.
Unbelievable.
CPR, and her child almost died after being vaccinated. And so I wouldn't know about that because ABC, CBS, and NBC will not share those stories. This is 60 Minutes is going to run John Benet Ramsey every 5 years, you know, and it's just going to keep it going. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, keep you glued to the television. You're allowed to watch Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy and keep you going so that the warmongers in the machine, the people behind the curtains, you don't pay attention to the man behind the curtains. What happened with Facebook 2016 is that the entire internet has been moving and spreading truth and red pilling people and people, and people on the left and people on the right came together and spread the WikiLeaks links. That is why the Russian collusion started.
Yeah.
That is why Julian Assange is going to maybe be extradited and put in prison. He already has been given a 50-week sentence, the biggest sentence he could get for jumping bail on a crime that for the charges that were dropped against him.
Yeah.
So we're winning because we aren't submitting.
Right.
But if I can't get to a Breitbart article, how am I supposed to find out what's going on?
Well, I want to address this, and again, this is going to have the same kind of spiel on it with this from 20 Faces says, to be fair, it's their platform, so they can do what they want. Well, let me, since what we just said didn't actually sink in, let me say it this way. When I was very young, I think I was probably about 19 or 20 years old, I wanted to get a checking account from our local bank. In order to get a checking account from our local bank, thanks to the Patriot Act, or so they said, I had to have a credit card or a proof that I paid my utilities. Well, I was living at with my grandma at that time. I didn't believe in credit cards. I didn't have a bank account, so I didn't have a debit card. And so they essentially, this was Chase Bank, I don't mind saying their name, kicked me out and said, you can't bank with us because you don't have a credit card. Well, I don't believe in credit cards. If you want to rent a car, you have to have a credit card. If you want to buy something on Amazon, you have to have a credit card. It's unfortunate that in today's day and age, we live in a system that makes us do things that we don't want to do in order to operate under. Anybody wants to rent a car. You can't just tell somebody that they can't rent a car. So a lot of times you can't just say that it's their platform, they can do whatever they want to do. The bank should not have said, you can't. They should have worked with me. They should have said, we can find some other way to get your proof of address. Well, I thought you could use a birth certificate, right?
On your rolls, do you want me to heat the oven up first?
Yes.
So wait 10, 15 minutes till the oven goes to 400.
Yes.
Then put them in.
Thank you.
So they can't just say, you know what, you can live in society, but you can't bank, Michelle.
So wait a minute, but here's the thing. So what you're saying is that the electricity company can just shut you off.
Right. And you can just say, listen, you don't have to use the electricity service because they've shut you off.
What about the post office?
Right. Well, you can't mail your letters here because we don't agree with your political leaning.
You're pro-life.
Well, you know, and so what you're saying there is, well, then don't use the post office. Don't use electricity. We have reached this era, and I understand, guys, that it is very difficult to think this way because it goes against, and I'm only 35 years old, it goes against everything in me to think this way, but social media and the internet and technology has become like electricity to us, like the post office to us, like banking to us.
Did Rosa Parks have a right to sit at the front of the bus?
Right.
That's what it comes down to.
Well, she just didn't have to ride the bus. You know what? If they're gonna make you sit in the back of the bus, Rosa, just don't ride the bus.
She is a national hero.
Right.
Because she said, this is my civil right. You can't make me sit at the back of the bus because of the color of my skin.
Right.
And what we need is an internet bill of rights.
Exactly.
And we need to put political beliefs along with religious beliefs because most of your political beliefs are aligned with religious beliefs. So they say, I don't serve Christians.
Right. Jay says it's called totalitarianism. And you're 100% right. And so when you have It is a fine line for a libertarian to walk here. Okay. But guess what? As a libertarian, you have to say civil rights is a thing. You can't just say that business doesn't have to serve somebody because of the color of their skin. But when it comes to the bakers having to perform or excuse me, to do
I
a
believe
cake,
that
that's
the
different
bakers,
because
no,
it's
but
an
here's the thing.
artist.
I believe that the bakers should have to serve a gay person.
I do too. I do too.
I don't believe they can say, "Are you gay? Leave my building."
Right.
I don't think that's a civil right.
Right.
I don't believe you can say, "Are you a Muslim? You can't come in here."
Let's say Facebook would offer a service that says we'll produce a page for you for a fee, right? If Facebook says, you know what, we don't want to produce a specific customized artwork page for you because we don't stand behind what you do, but you can still use our platform.
That would be okay. You know, we're pro-life or blah blah blah.
Right.
Exactly. Finally, Will's article came up. When Lyndon Johnson was in Congress in the 1950s, he had 3 of his employees drive his car back from Washington to Austin at the end of every legislative session. That trip took his employees through the Deep South. In Johnson's telling, this went on for years without incident, and he was unaware of any issues with his trip. All 3 employees were black. One year, he asked the 3 employees to take his dog, Beagle, back to Austin with him. According to Robert A. Caro in Master of the Senate, one employee hesitated, explaining, "It's tough enough to get all the way from Washington to Texas. We drive for hours and hours. We get hungry, but there's no place on the road we can stop and go in and eat. We drive some more. It gets pretty hot. We want to wash up, but the only bathroom we're allowed in is usually miles off the main highway. We keep going till night comes, till we get so tired we can't stay awake anymore. We're ready to pull in, but it takes another hour or so to find a place to sleep. You see, what I'm saying is that a colored man's got enough trouble getting across the South on his own without having a dog along." In Johnson's telling, hearing this story was jarring enough to permanently convince him of the necessity of protecting his employees and every other African American from discrimination. The view of any holdout radical libertarian who still thinks that the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was unjust.
Thank you.
Because you know what? Private property rights are great. And that does not mean that we as a society had to let private restaurant owners and private hotel managers turn away customers because they were black. We didn't have to accept a world in which black people had to defecate on the side of the road because they weren't allowed to use a privately owned restroom. We as a society do not have to allow private companies to violate Americans' civil rights. Yesterday, Paul Joseph Watson, Laura Loomer, Alex Jones, and Milo Yiannopoulos were permanently banned from Facebook and Instagram. InfoWars content itself was banned even more broadly. Accounts that share InfoWars content will see it deleted, and accounts that repeatedly share will be banned themselves. For Watson, this is a non-trivial loss. While he still has massive platforms on YouTube and Twitter, he spent plenty of time building up his Facebook and Instagram accounts too. All of that time, the effort is now dissipated because of the decision of some petty leftist arpit, I don't know what he says.
Apartichicks.
In Silicon Valley. But for Laura and Yiannopoulos, this was the death blow. Instagram was their only remaining platform, both having already been banned from Twitter. They no longer have any ability to meaningfully contribute to public discourse. And that's what it is. We live in you've got to see that Ready One Player, where there's a digital world.
Yeah.
And we live in it.
Right. Well,
and you can kill people in the digital world.
Leah, why don't you actually give somebody a made-up example, okay? I love that. I love the House of Commons, right? Where they can all come in and they can all talk and they can all debate. Well, let's pretend for 1 second that there was some magical real-life place where anybody could come and have those kinds of debates, and then it was a privately owned building, but anybody could come there, and then all of a sudden, those privately owned people, the people that privately owned that building, said, you know what, you can't come and start participating in this public debate because we own this building, but it's already become a public square that is vital to the conversation, to the public conversation, okay? And other people can try to build buildings, but if nobody else goes to that building, they would all have to leave and go to that building, and that's not happening. And so you have to have civil rights that says, you know what? You can't tell me that I can't come into your public place because of the color of my skin, because of my religious belief, or my political beliefs.
And I think that what we're talking about, the answer here is to add political affiliation to a protected class.
Yeah.
Instagram was their only remaining platform, both having been banned from Twitter. They no longer have any ability to meaningfully contribute to public discourse. They have been silenced not by the government, but by the private companies, which together constitute the modern public square of 2019. But however, I disagree with Will Chamberlain on this. They were silenced by the government because it was the DNC and the Democrats.
Right.
Facebook did not want to do this in the beginning.
Hang on though, because I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on this, and I love all of our viewers, and I want you to know that I'm very glad that you're here. If I disagree with your comment, it's not because I don't like you, okay? It's just because I disagree with what you're saying. You're disagreeing with what I'm saying. Solar says it's their company; they can ban whoever they want. I would have to question your sanity when you say that, because you're essentially saying that if they want to keep Rosa Parks off the bus, they can keep Rosa Parks off the bus.
And black people,
black people can't use the restroom and actually can't sit and eat with white people. That's exactly what you're saying here. And if you have those beliefs, then I really do have to question your sanity.
But it goes deeper than this, because we do have a First Amendment, and the government shall not infringe on your First Amendment right. And
the freedom of speech.
This will help all of you libertarians. Facebook did not of their own volition do this. This was government. The left side of the government, the deep state of the government went to Facebook and said, shut down Alex Jones.
Right.
CNN is run by the DNC, by leftists, and it was people like Oliver Darcy and Brian Stetler and Jim Acosta who went to Facebook and to Twitter, and they have been lobbying Facebook and Twitter to shut them down. This was not Facebook's. They did it. They all got together because they were being pushed by the left arm of our government. Exactly. This is state, okay? This is state, and I wish Will would get this, and I wish everybody would get this. This is state. This is state. This is the government. It's the left side of the government.
Absolutely.
And that is why I will still support Donald Trump, because his government is not shutting down my speech.
Right.
But the left side of the government wants to shut down my speech. Who's cheering this on? Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker. These people are running to be president of the United States.
Right.
This is state. This is, somebody said to me, this isn't state, this is private companies.
Right.
And that's where you're missing it.
Right.
The private companies are front. They have both hands tied behind their back by the DNC and by the Democrats in power. This is an Obama push. This is a Hillary Clinton push. This is by a Clapper push and Brennan, our CIA directors. These people are pushing Facebook to do this. They went to Facebook and lied to them and told them that Russia had hacked our election.
Right.
This is state. It's the left side of the state.
Yeah.
So we're done.
Right.
This is state, and the state cannot infringe. It's on the Constitution.
Yeah.
It is state, and they're using Facebook and Twitter as an arm to shut down the 21st century freedom of speech.
I have to tell you, I am disappointed in some of you on here in the chat, because you would be okay with Rosa Parks having to sit in the back of the bus with what you're saying, and that's racist, it's prejudiced, and it's wrong. And anybody that is racist and prejudiced and says that it's okay for other people to be that way,
y'all,
that's not sane.
Our Constitution was not written for corporations or private businesses. Okay?
It was written
Our
for
Constitution
individuals.
is first written, no person's rights shall be infringed.
Right.
Okay? And the IRS made a corporation as equal to an individual, and that's where your problem is. And so we are playing cards here.
Right.
And the individual liberty trumps a corporation.
Yeah.
Every day. And so if there is a civil right being violated, and Greyhound Bus says, I'm not going to allow black people on my bus, then the government steps in for the citizen's rights.
Right.
Okay? You have the right to property. What has happened is that your property is now in this box.
Yeah. What if all land, literal land, was owned by a certain corporation and they refused to sell to you? And a lot of you having these arguments in the chat would say, well, then you don't have to buy from them.
Then you're homeless. You're literally listening to some sci-fi dystopia world.
When somebody owns all the property, and again, guys, I love you so much, but the problem is you're having a difficulty coming into the modern era, and I hate to say that because I don't want to sound like a millennial poo-pooing older people, but you're having a hard time grasping this. It's not a matter of, well, you know what, if you don't want an Xbox, you don't have to have an Xbox. Well, guess what? I hate video games, and I think that people should not play them. I do not believe in video games. I can't stress that enough. But everybody should be allowed to buy an Xbox. Everybody, they have these, they play internet games together, right? I don't agree. I don't think people should do it, okay? But every person has the right to join those silly video game platforms and play against whoever they want to play with. They can't ban people from doing that. Stuart the Brit says, Michelle, but in the same breath, Facebook, Google, etc. are losing so much money and market share. They cannot continue for long in this mode without killing themselves. So, happy endings. I agree with that 100%. Bert Baza says, Michelle, the UK have said to Zuckerberg, if you don't stop the so-called far right from having a platform, we will take action against you by making legislation to stop you allowing them a platform.
Exactly. And we do know that the government got Tommy taken off of YouTube.
Exactly.
And so this is the state. This is Stalinistic.
Right.
You guys, and Google's not going anywhere.
Right.
I'm sorry. Google is not going anywhere unless something breaks it up. I think the Google's got like 99% of web traffic.
Right.
Okay? So Google's not going anywhere. It has become a giant, and AT&T was broken up.
Right.
Reagan broke up monopolies. Roosevelt broke up the monopolies. You had the oil cartel.
Right.
You can't have a corner on the market.
Yeah.
Okay? Because we as the people have to be able to get along with one another. And you can't corner it. You can't corner the market.
Right. And we already have, and here's the thing. We already have laws on the book, okay? This article talked about the civil rights movement, okay? This is a literal law that is on the book because here Salar says, imagine Facebook bans black people on its platform. Is that a crime? It literally is a crime. You cannot refuse somebody service because of the color of their skin. So what we're saying is it has to broaden, we have to broaden these laws to say you cannot refuse service to anybody based on their religious or political affiliation.
Right. Free speech
is that simple.
Free speech is more than the First Amendment, which only protects you from the government infringing your rights. But here's the thing, you guys. The government is infringing our rights. This is the leftist government stopping us. This is not Twitter.
Right.
This is not Google. This is not. This is the left. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is a prerequisite for meaningful speech in 2019. Social media companies certainly will strenuously object to this formulation, but they can hardly complain given that the federal government has underwritten and undergirded their development. And that is key. The government underwrote Google and the creation of this internet that we have.
Right.
It is a public forum that all the public should have access to. Did you know that Facebook was actually tried to ban pedophiles from accessing its platform, but a judge ruled the pedophiles could access Facebook, but Alex Jones cannot.
Unbelievable.
So, and there's many ways to regulate this, but right now it's Facebook and Twitter. They enjoy a freedom and a pass that a Washington Post does not, because Washington Post or New York Times are publishers and they can be held to much higher standards.
Yeah.
Whereas Facebook is not held to a standard based on what its users publish.
Right.
So if you remove their immunity, if they're saying we're controlling, we got it.
Right.
We're controlling people's speech. Well, fine. Then you'll be shut down in an instant.
Right.
Because the FCC, whatever, the Federal Communications the Bureau will come after you in a heartbeat because of all the crazy stuff that you're sharing all the time. I mean, I almost fell for a ad that keeps getting put on Facebook for Keens at a really good deal. And so Facebook shut down. You allowed that ad on.
Yeah.
You made it look just like a Facebook
actually,
ad.
they should be responsible and they should have to compensate
and they should be able to be sued.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because what if the Washington Post put up a fake ad?
Yeah.
They could be sued.
Right.
And so that's the answer. That's the best answer for this is you remove the immunity that they have as non-publishers and say, fine, you're a publisher.
They will shut down overnight.
We will sue your socks off for 100 million things. There's porn on these sites. They don't take it off. And that's just the thing.
So Redneck says, the way I look at racism is this. I'll give you a chance to prove that you're a decent and kind person. I don't care if you're white, black, brown, or from Mars. If you prove you're evil, I ain't gonna like you. I could not agree with you.
He also says
more.
that states could pass laws protecting citizens from deplatforming before our current legislator could because of its makeup.
Right.
So, let's see. Serious questions to conservatives who want the government to regulate social media. What do you do when the GOP loses control of the White House and Congress? That day will come, even if only temporarily. When it does, do you want President AOC appointing the regulators? Well, in response to the proposals like this, establishment conservatives have been rallying like this as a slippery slope. This argument comes up routinely in any discussion of the merits of regulating big tech companies. The problem, it's a farce, because that's the same way of saying, do you really want the government to make sure that black people can ride on the bus?
Yeah.
Really want the government to do that?
Right.
Do you really want the government to make sure that electric companies can't? Do you guys understand that the reason your electric is kept at a certain rate is because the government regulates that? Otherwise, they could gouge you like that.
Right.
At any moment, at any second, they could do it.
Because it's their company and they can do what they want. And that's what a lot of you guys are saying. They should be allowed to
And
raise
then
their
all of a
prices.
sudden,
And if I
you
don't want
get-
electricity, then I don't have to have electricity.
You get a $2,000 electric bill, $3,000 electric bill, and you can't pay.
But let's go back to pre-electricity, right? Let's go back to electricity is just as new and just as newfangled as this technology, okay?
Right.
Most people cook using their wood stove, they heat using fireplaces, and other people have chosen to wire their houses and they get electricity. People back then would say, well, listen, you don't have to choose to use the electric company. If they want to gouge you and they want to raise your prices, then that's fine. Well, then guess what? Everybody got rid of the old ways, and now they don't use non-electric ways, and they
And
rely
that's with the
on
internet.
electricity.
People have gotten rid of the old ways.
And that's the thing that I'm
They
trying to tell
rely
you guys.
on Facebook and
A
Twitter
lot
and
of you
YouTube.
guys are acting as if we're still in that transition of not having to have electricity, but you all know that you couldn't function without electricity. I will tell you, we did it for a half a year and we did fine, okay? But it was a challenge, all right? We've gone without electricity. We've done it, okay? But it is a huge, huge challenge. It's almost impossible to live in this modern society unless your house is already ready
We had to
for
buy
a wood
stuff that was
stove.
made with electricity.
Exactly. And so I'm trying to ask you guys to let your brain go, oh, well, yeah, I guess the electric
We're in a
companies
different
shouldn't be allowed to
realm.
gouge, because then poor people would, they could just literally take away their electricity and they couldn't function anymore. You understand? And so it is a fine line that requires common sense.
So, if Democrats retake the White House, they can't constitutionally use laws like the one he proposed above to constrain speech.
Right.
First Amendment law is a one-way ratchet. If a regulator tried to twist the civil rights laws in such a way that they were constraining speech, you could walk into a district court anywhere in the
Right.
country and get an injunction forcing them to stop. The recently divided Supreme Court case, Packington versus North Carolina, is instructive here. In the case, Lester Packington, a North Carolina resident and a registered sex offender, posted to Facebook about an experience in traffic court. North Carolina had a law banning registered sex offenders from using social media sites. Packingham demonstrates what happens when governments try to use regulation to try and restrict access to social media sites. The facts of the Packingham are pretty simple. The government of North Carolina, for perfectly sensible reasons, passed a law that prohibited convicted sex offenders from using social media. The Supreme Court, in a unanimous decision, found this speech constraint unconstitutional and used very basic, settled law to do so. Simply put, under long-standing First Amendment law, the government cannot restrict your access to the public square, as Justice Kennedy explained. By prohibiting sex offenders from using those websites, North Carolina, with one broad stroke, bars access to what for many are the principal sources for knowing current events, checking ads for employment, speaking and listening in the modern public square, and otherwise exploring the vast realms of human thought and knowledge. In sum, to foreclose access to social media altogether is to prevent the user from engaging in a legitimate exercise of the First Amendment rights. So there we have it. Unanimous Supreme Court is against you guys. Like, seriously, holding that the First Amendment prohibits federal and state governments from restricting your access to social media. North Carolina's law was clearly well-intentioned. They were trying to protect children from sex offenders by keeping those sex offenders off social media. But even a speech restriction that understandable did not pass constitutional muster. This isn't a closed question. The concerns about government regulation being turned around to constrain speech are simply unfounded.
All right, so here's the thing. Again, one of our viewers who I absolutely love, Tanya DeBear. So again, when I disagree with your guys' comments, please do not take it personally. You know that I value you guys, and I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you're saying what you think. Allow me to say what I think about what you have to say. Tanya DeBear says, would you force a child to play with the underprivileged kid, no matter if he is a bully, just because he is underprivileged? I'm going to address that one in a minute. But her second comment said, I can refuse to pick up a black hitchhiker. The two things that you're talking about are different than what we're talking about. Okay, let's use your child playing with an underprivileged or a bully kid. Let's put it in a public place, because that's the only way we can do this, because this is what we're talking about, a public place. Let's say your child is at the park, and this other underprivileged child that you're talking about, or this bully, is at the park. Okay, the park, usually they're owned by cities. The city cannot refuse entrance to that park to an underprivileged kid, but that park probably holds the right to refuse entrance to a kid that continues to bully. There we go to the legal realm, right? We have to take it to the legal realm. Nobody is going to force your child to play with the bully or to play with the underprivileged child. But the underprivileged child has to be allowed access to the park, and the bully has to be allowed access to the park, and then given a chance to prove whether they are going to pick on other kids, and they can be given warnings and so far and so forth. That is a legal thing. If somebody on these social platforms, okay, is committing a crime where legal resource can be taken, okay, you can't punish a child, okay, but I guarantee you if an adult was at that park bullying, they could go to jail, okay, for a public nuisance or something like that. All right, so you have to take it to nobody's going to force anybody. You don't have to force somebody to interact with somebody on social media. You can have all kinds of settings. Of privacy settings. Next, as far as picking up a hitchhiker, I liked Redneck's response to that. Picking up a hitchhiker ain't too safe anyway. I don't think you should pick up hitchhikers because it isn't safe, especially if you're a woman. You have to be led by the Holy Spirit on that. But we're not making people do anything. It's just allowing everybody equal access to a public place. And then if they break the law, they're not allowed to come.
Raise your hand if you believe that you every telemarketer in the entire world can call your phone at any time. That's their right. They can call your phone at any time.
Right.
Well, actually, the Telephone Consumer Protection Act in 1991 imposes restrictions on the telephone solicitations, automated text messages, and the use of auto dialing systems. While the FTC does regulate based on this statute, one of the primary mechanisms of enforcement is litigation. The TCPA created a private right of action for consumers who were the target of unlawful phone calls and text. The right of action allows private citizens both injunctive relief and statutory damages. Will conservatives say that the TCPA signed by George H. Bush is unacceptable interference into the free market? Our government interferes in the free market all the time to protect consumers.
Right.
Right? Do you have the right to defraud people?
Okay, so hang on. And Lance, I love you and I'm glad that you're here. Okay, so again, when we disagree with your comments, please take it with a grain of salt. But Lance says that Facebook is still a private business. It's not a public place. Actually, it is. Arby's, McDonald's, Walmart. These are all considered public places.
Can
they are
stop
privately owned businesses,
if you're black,
but they are
or
public
Hispanic
places for anybody to go into.
Exactly.
They cannot refuse service to anyone unless you don't have a shirt. They can say no shoes, no shirt, no service. Okay, but seriously, because those are public decency kind of things. But they cannot refuse service to you based on the color of your skin, your creed, your race, your religion, whatever. That is a public place that is owned privately. Facebook is a public place that is actually owned publicly. They've gone public. That is owned privately, as if you want to say that. So I'm trying to tell you guys again, and I don't want to sound like some sort of ranting millennial where you guys are just in the Stone Ages, but you kind of are. It's the same difference between the electric company and people that cooked on a wood stove and making that transition.
Okay, it's all going to be fine until they take you off.
And I was thinking that earlier.
It's all going to be fine until you post one thing that says, I'm pro-life.
Right.
And they say, you're gone. You can't use YouTube. You can't use
hang on.
Google.
Let's take it a step further.
PayPal.
Let's take it a step further.
You can't go buy things on eBay anymore. You can't buy things on Amazon anymore.
They shut down your email. okay? And you can't go and get any of your contacts. They have literally done that. They've shut down people's Gmails, okay? They have taken away bank accounts. We just covered that last week. They shut down your bank account. You have to come and pick up all your money. You can't bank with us anymore. I had automatic payments there. My payment's going to be late. Well, it doesn't matter. That's not our fault. We're refusing you service.
Because of your political belief.
Exactly. Now, Mom says, corporations do not, hang on, the incomplete sentence. I'm going to do the best I can.
Corporations don't have the right of the individual.
Businesses, even government, do not have rights. The individual rights are above government and businesses. Rights come from God for the individual because individuals are accountable before God. Human beings have feelings, emotions, and morals. Well said, Patriot.
These are LLCs. These are limited liability corporations.
Right.
They can't individually be sued.
Right.
Okay. And I think that if this was run by one person, one dude, one individual person, you'd be right to say a little bit more. But these are LLCs. LLCs are not people, and they do not have constitutional rights.
Jay Dillon says, yeah, publicly owned companies should have public law applied to them, not only private company laws. Facebook is owned via the stock market, publicly traded and owned.
Yes, publicly traded companies are regulated by the government.
Right.
They have laws to protect their stinking shareholders. Yeah. You have to keep things on the up and up to protect your shareholders if you're publicly traded, and they are publicly traded. Right. You're absolutely right. Matt Walsh says, think progress and daily costs are hotbeds of insane conspiracy theories and hateful bigoted extremism. Somehow their content hasn't been banned from Facebook yet. I wonder why.
Hang on, though. Again, and Tanya, please, I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want you to think that I'm angry at you or whatever when I disagree with but you're doing the same thing. You're disagreeing with what we're saying, and that's fine. It's part of the public discourse that we should be allowed to do. Tanya says, Facebook is not an essential service. It may not be essential to you, but it is essential to
billions of people across
just
the country.
Just because you don't think it's important, well, guess what? You could say that electricity is not an essential service. Leah and I and Patriot Gallery would love to get the world back to a place where no one uses electricity. I know that sounds far-fetched, and I know that sounds crazy.
What about the post
office?
I
hate technology, and I would love it if we didn't have to use it. Okay, that would be my dream world. Okay, but for you to say that Facebook isn't an essential service is the exact same thing as somebody saying, you know what, electricity is not essential, because you don't have to have electricity to live, to breathe.
What about the telephone?
Exactly. Just because it's not essential to you, okay, the only things that are essential in life are food, water, and shelter.
Air.
And air. Okay, those are the only essential things in life. But shelter, I doubt very seriously that you would be okay with the electricity company saying, Tanya DeBear, you don't get to have electricity anymore. It's not essential for you, and we don't agree with your religious or political beliefs. So you don't have, it's not essential.
You wired your whole house, that you have all these electronic things to plug into the walls.
Right.
And see, that's what happened to a lot of people on YouTube. They built up their entire business and their entire life.
Right.
And they didn't violate the terms of service.
Right.
Alex Jones, we're not talking about people who violate terms of service, who, like you said, did something criminal, or even when you read the terms of service. Alex Jones, Paul Joseph Watson, even Laura Loomer, they haven't violated. To say that because they did an interview with Gavin McInnes that they violated the terms of service is insane. It's just not true.
Right.
Okay? It's just not true. Okay, when I signed up for Facebook, nobody told me that if I said that there's two genders, I could possibly be taken off.
Right.
I didn't sign up under that.
Yeah.
They haven't sent me a term of service telling me, don't say this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. We don't know. They are randomly taking people off.
You can violate their terms of service when they've just literally updated it yesterday, and then the very next day they ban you, and they never sent you a notification that they've changed their terms of service.
Building up, here's what people don't understand, is we live in a digital age.
Right.
Right? No, even the Amish rely on us to get customers for them. Right. They ask us to reach out to our friends. And how do I reach out to my friends? Via the internet. I have another Amish raw milk people. They have a white Westerner person running their Facebook page, running their internet page to get customers in. We live in a different world where, okay, raw milk is illegal in the grocery store. So if these Amish want to live off the land and they want to milk their cows, then they have to find people. And the only way to find people is on the internet. I sell my piglets. The only way to find people, I found some with some ads on Tractor Supply, but the majority of them are sold on Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Right. I like what Mark says. I like disagreements. It's how we learn. And so again, when I read your comments and I disagree with them, I want you to know that I'm not doing it out of anger. I just want to have, because I'm sure there are other people are thinking your way and we believe differently. And so I'm going to give you my thoughts on that. Scotty says people don't even know the difference between natural law and God-given rights versus fake arbitrary federal government laws. People don't even know, don't even have an internal compass to recognize natural law and rights anymore. They think your rights come from a mere man in government. They think that government is God.
And I want to say that we are winning, and that is why the left is doing this. And guys, here's the thing. The bottom line is the left, the deep state, the government is doing this to us.
Yeah.
The government went to YouTube and got us demonetized.
Right.
So you know that our Constitution says that the government shall not infringe on our right to speech. That should be the bottom line.
Right.
This is the government.
Right.
This is the government. This is the leftist arm of the government. Okay, so I said this. I love how liberals suddenly turn capitalist libertarians when tech companies censor their opponents, and yet they want more government to restrict gun ownership, give free college and healthcare, and stop cow farts. Newsflash, government is good when it protects your rights.
Yeah.
Okay? My government can step in to protect my rights. Now, Lord Chan says, how about just using existing laws to break up the monopoly? Because that's what we're talking about. When you said, when you buy an Android phone, you're stuck with Google. It's a monopoly.
Yeah.
They tried to break up Microsoft. They broke up AT&T long distance. They've already done it. Okay? Because that was a monopoly.
Right.
Because then you can charge people whatever you want. Amazon is becoming a monopoly, you know, taking all the mom and pop businesses. Where's the civil rights for the mom and pop businesses going out of business?
Right.
Because of Amazon, things like that. How about just making platforms decide whether they're publishers or platforms and hold them accountable? Are they platforms? Here's the thing. Here's the difference. Are they platforms for everyone, which is why they get a pass on the publishing? Are they platforms or are they publishers? Are they platforms or are they publishers? Choose. Okay, I am a publisher. You get your little honey suit off 100 times every second. Right? Or you're a platform. Okay, random people can say things on this site. It's not our fault. Okay? How about just investigating collusion between big tech and payment processors? She says, oh, you want government to do something. Well, how about all those times you didn't want government to do something, huh? Maybe the argument would work on an NCAP, but the rest of us are able to discuss types of regulations with cost-benefit analysis depending on the situation. I'm in favor of certain building regulations for safety reasons. Does that mean I have to accept any and all form of government interventions? Of course not.
Right.
Similarly, wanting some sort of action in light of a handful of corporations controlling the information that fuels our democracy doesn't mean, hey, you might as well embrace big government socialism because I guess it's all the same thing anyway, right? Additionally, not all regulation is created equal. Actions like breaking up monopolies in order to enable competition are a far cry from government-mandated truth bureaus that critics make it sound like people are advocating for.
All right, so I want to have an interactive thing here with the chat. So I'm going to give it probably the 30-second lag and a minute after that. I would like to see a show of hands, and I want you to be honest here. If within the past 6 months you have used your telephone book to look up someone's phone number or a business. Show of hands in this chat. I'm going to give it a minute or two. Leah can go on once I get, and I'll go back and I'll read the answers.
Have you used the telephone book?
Have you used the telephone book?
The literal book.
Like the yellow pages.
The one that you
opened it
hold
up.
in
The
your
one
hand.
that they drop off at your house, which actually I don't think they drop off anymore. If you've used the yellow pages to find services for something that you needed. I want to see it. I want to see it in the comment section. I'm going to give it a minute or so.
Do 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 do. Okay, Snoop Dogg, who hates Donald Trump, who I am not a favor of, encourages everyone to post Louis Farrakhan footage on Facebook and Instagram. Oh my God.
Mom says 2 means no, 1 means yes. There you go. Oh, there goes my cell phone. Mom, can you turn off my alarm on my phone?
30 seconds later, she can.
I know it's a 30-second lag. It's in the kitchen. What do you have for Snoop Dogg here? Is this on? No, this is not on.
You down with it?
Hang on, it'll come up in a minute.
Show some love to a real brother.
I'm dirty.
Right
I've been working outside.
You got footage everywhere. If you ain't got none, snatch it off of YouTube. It's everywhere. Put up some Minister Louis Farrakhan footage. Show some love. Show what he really be talking about. Educating, truth. Can't ban all of us. What up?
So there's Snoop Dogg because he's upset about Farrakhan being banned. Oh my word. The View wants to know if Ilhan Omar will be next.
Oh, okay.
Because they're actually standing up for
Louis
Louis Farrakhan.
To combat hate speech, yes. They've banned controversial figures like Alex Jones, Louis Farrakhan, and Milo Yiannopoulos from the site. Not that I want to hear from any of them, but does this violate their First Amendment rights is what I want to know, because they're not allowed now to spew their hatred on any Facebook page. What do you
no,
say?
because Facebook is a private company, so the First Amendment doesn't apply to them. To
Is
Facebook.
that so?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
so you can
government
say whatever
action.
you want.
Yeah, and you can have massacres
Yeah.
shown live.
Yeah, Facebook.
Which is what happened in New Zealand on Facebook.
Yeah, but Facebook now has taken the tack that because they're a private company and they can monitor their own content, they've decided to do this. And, you know, I disagree certainly with all those, the platforms that those people that have been banned have, but it just does make me feel uncomfortable that you have sort of this private organization being able to take away the speech of private individuals. There's just something about it that makes the lawyer in me extremely uncomfortable.
Well, I have no issue with it at all. I want them shut down. I want them silenced. I want them muted. I think they are horrible for our society. And look, the First Amendment argument is very powerful.
So I think Hillary Clinton is horrible for our society.
I do too.
Anna Navarro is supposedly a Republican, by the way. She has not no problem with it.
Unbelievable.
I had to stop it. At the end of the day,
I hate Anna
can
Navarro.
I challenge this?
I think so.
And the courts are going to decide.
Don't you feel it's a slippery slope at all, though? I mean, you
That's
could
how I feel.
say, like, Ilhan Omar can't be on there now. The left won't like that.
Yeah.
No, but you know what?
with it.
Like, so we live in the freest country in the world. I love that about America, and I know that because I've spent a lot of years living in places where they don't have that, like China.
I cannot believe that Joy Behar is the only sane person in this whole argument.
Did they tell her to play good cop, bad
No,
cop?
I think she was literally like knowing
right.
that she is insane.
Yeah.
And that she could be banned at any moment if the roles were reversed.
Right.
And she just said, what about Ilhan Omar?
Right.
And everybody was like, well, we'll just forget about her.
Right.
That's fine. If they do her, they do her next.
Right.
It makes me feel uncomfortable. I was actually pretty happy about that.
All right, so let's go over here the results of our telephone book poll here. All right, so let's remember that I think that Patriot Gallery decided to say 2 means no, 1 means yes. So I'm just going to go through these and we're going to see what you guys had to say about whether you use the phone book. Rhonda Ford says no using a phone book. Deb Wood says nope. Scotty says nope. Stuart the Brit says local phone book yesterday. Erica Ramos says, yeah. Assist says, I have used a lot here in Brazil. And there in the U.S. Nowadays we use Google. So that's in the past. I mean, like within the past 6 months, have you used it? So Resistance Chicks Mom says 2. That means no. Rhonda 4 said 2. That means no. Stuart the Brit says 1. That means yes. Kelly says yes. Edward says yes. Deb Wood says 2. That means no. Scotty says 2. That means no. Mark Damon says more than once. Assis says 1. That means yes. Let's see. Sanhar says, I lost my brother's phone number and I wish that they had phone books. Let's see. Dale Jones says, no, I don't own a cell phone. Jesus says, use the phone book. Yes. Let's see. Eric says 1. Yes, that means you did use the phone book. Let's see. Kelly says, yes, I have used it. Britt Plaza says the UK doesn't have yellow pages or a telephone book anymore.
Well, then what do you do?
Deb Wood says, I think they stopped sending the telephone book out in Texas. I haven't seen one in years. We haven't had a telephone book dropped off in a couple of years here.
And And why is that? I think you're getting to the point.
Right. So my point is that most people, by and large, I would say probably 75% of my circle, at the very least, that's being conservative, never uses a phone book. Ever. I haven't opened up a telephone book probably in about 7 or 8 years. And I know many, many other people have not either. And so the argument could be that if Google all of a sudden decides you can't use their search engine anymore, okay, you can't use it to find any website or anything.
Or you can't put your service on.
Then other people can't find you, and you can't find the services.
Every single company in our area was listed in the phone book.
Mm-hmm.
So that you can be found.
Right.
And so the internet is now the new phone book.
Yeah.
So you Google a person,
right.
You Google an organization, you Google a thing, you want to know what they're saying.
Right.
You know?
Centaur says, Yellow Pages is now yell.com online.
Exactly.
So it's online. And that's the thing. They've put Yellow Pages online as well. And again, Tanya, you're giving me great comments. And so, again, I don't want to offend anybody because I love you guys. But she says that electricity and the internet aren't in the same ballpark, so you can't compare them. I have to wholeheartedly disagree with you.
Here's the thing. Here's a good question. When was the last time you opened up a map?
Yeah.
When was the last time you opened up a map?
A real map to find a place.
I don't know how to get most places now anymore. People don't give you directions.
Right.
People don't even know how to give you directions to their business or to their place. You Google it.
Well,
you
hang
Google
on though, because Lance says then find another way. Lance, are you okay with the electricity company saying you can find another way? Guess what? We heat with wood. We have found other ways. Okay, you could go out and buy all kinds of lamps for your,
But what about the power tools? What about?
Then you can't use your power tools anymore,
right?
And so Tanya, my argument with you would be, again, you're saying that it's not in the same ballpark, but you just may not use these services the way that almost all of society does, the same way that somebody in backwoods or whatever still used an outhouse or still, didn't have indoor plumbing or didn't have electricity during that transition, okay? Or when trains came into being or automobiles came into being. Okay, this is the new era of technology. All of those things, the train, the car, indoor plumbing, electricity, those are all modern. For the past 2,000 years, we haven't had those.
Do you think when the train companies came in and said black people or Native Americans can't ride on our train?
What happens when all of society shifts according to new technology? You can't, just because we and again, I'm old fashioned as well, and I hate electricity and I hate technology, and I wish you didn't even see us through this, but we're using it because we're trying to get some information out to you. Okay. But Tanya, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but would you be okay if YouTube kicked us off? If we couldn't get, that's kind of offensive. I would be hurt if you felt that way, because it's the exact same thing, whether it's YouTube or whether it's Facebook. It's the platform that we use to get information out there. Now, Google pretty much owns the internet, right?
It's called
a search. If you go to Google and you search a topic, right? Just because Leah and I have a website, you would never find it without Google.
Right.
Okay. So we could have our website. The internet's free, right? But you would never be able to find us. You would never hear our voices.
They do bury people in search results.
Okay. This is a civil rights issue. And my heart goes out to those of you that are libertarian and you feel, but in your libertarianism,
I think
you can't say that Rosa Parks has to sit in the back of the bus.
We live in a time when many on the left are arguing for the privatization of the commons. Amazon is taking over commerce. Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube control public conversation. We're talking about public conversation here. Google and Facebook are wiping out media markets with massive control of the advertising market.
Right. Tanya says, otherwise I use the notice board at the library. Ha ha. I'm with you. I wish we had a society that was back that way. I wish we had literal commons areas. I wish that was the way that people found things. All right. Again, I don't like electricity. Patriot Gallery would love to outlaw cars. Okay, I don't like cars. They kill people.
They do.
But we live in a modern society where you can't travel from point A to point B where you need to get, and you have to go without a car. So you can't just say, I choose not to use a car.
And what about the gas companies again?
You know,
It's the
because
same
even
thing.
our Amish friends have to bum rides from the English.
And Greyhound. They use Greyhound like it's going out of style.
Right. Because it is even if you have these core beliefs, we
no longer have the here's the thing.
This way anymore.
The wagon trains aren't running, baby.
And yeah, exactly.
Okay, they're not running. All right. But here's another bottom line. It seems libelous for a company as powerful as Facebook to publicly label people violent and hateful and dangerous without justification or explanation.
Right.
Being erroneously labeled that way by a corporation like Facebook can have a real effect on your life.
And this is defamation of character. The printing press is fairly new. That's modern technology. We can go back to times when all it was is the printing press. People could be sued for defamation of character if they printed something in their paper that was against somebody's character that was not legally backed up by fact. Okay? So that's what we have by Facebook doing this to whether it's Farrakhan, and who I think that he has demons following him or probably inside of him, or Alex Jones or Laura Loomer or Milo or PJW. They have defamed their character, which under American law is illegal. Okay? So if you want to change the laws and say, you know what, the defamation of character shouldn't be a thing, people should be able to defame somebody's character, then we have to change those laws if the public society so agrees. But under our laws, what they are doing is illegal.
So here's the thing. If you sign up for any sort of service and you did pay for Facebook or Twitter or YouTube because they use your information. Right. You pay with a drop of blood. Yeah. Basically. So you did pay.
Right.
So let's say somebody breached a contract on you and changed the terms of service during the term of the service.
Exactly.
Facebook never said, hey, this term of service ends at here and I've never signed up for anything else.
Right.
It said, do you agree to these terms and conditions when you sign up? But they haven't sent me anything else to re-up it or to change anything.
Exactly.
So I wanted to play this video real quick from Mike Cernovich, who explains this.
Holistic corporation. So if you're conservative, you're an idiot because there's not a free market anymore because you have monopolies. And if you're a liberal and you're not a monopoly like Patreon, you're an idiot because now you're going to have a hard time raising money because you're not trustworthy. You have to con people. You have to con people. This is why it frustrates me to know when conservatives go, well, you know, YouTube's a private company, do whatever they want. No, they told people for years we believe in free speech. They lied to people to get people to give them free content, to get all their friends and family and fans watching them on YouTube, to capture that audience, and then they go, LOL, just kidding, we were just lying. This bait and switch is fraud. It's like if I go to a car dealer and I buy a car, and they go, okay, you have a warranty 50,000 miles, my car breaks down 20,000, LOL, after you left the dealership, we changed it to 20,000. You can't do that. That's fraud.
Right.
That's fraud. But every conservative idiot is saying that tech companies can retroactively change the terms and conditions.
Exactly.
No. The terms and conditions that got you onto the platform is what binds. And they all said free speech. We support free speech. Don't worry about it unless you're doing death threats.
So
doxing.
let me pause here.
You're
all right.
fine. You're
it's like this. Your house is built, right? Codes change. Literal law changes. That most of you are probably living in houses that have things that are violating current code. Okay? It's called being grandfathered in. They cannot come to your house and tell you you have to rebuild your house now or that wall or that structure because code has changed. You build your house according to the code that exists at that time. All right? And so that is what Mike Cernovich is trying to say about these terms of services.
Good to go. That's fraud. Imagine that, right? Seriously, imagine you go buy a car and you buy the extended warranty and try to use it. They go, oh, no, we changed that. We decided you were driving. We didn't want to give you the 50,000 mile warranty. We changed it to 30,000 miles and you're at 32,000 miles. Sorry for you. We're a private company. We can do whatever we want.
Exactly.
That's how shallow and superficial your conservative thought leaders come off to me. They haven't even thought through the issues. Exactly. They don't even have good counter-arguments to that. Why should terms of service be applied retroactively? Answer that, conservative intellectuals. Conservatives aren't even smart enough to ask those questions. So if they get you on their platform based on certain promises, they have to abide by those promises, at least as to you. If you come around later, then, whatever terms of service you get caught up on, or would apply to you. So it's fraud. It's fraud.
Well said.
Buffoons. Private companies can do whatever they want. Absolutely.
Eli Santiago says that's just the point. Social media have not been a public platform for the past few years. Instead, they have become a complete tool for the Democratic platform.
Exactly. And what about campaign contributions?
Right.
If they're not going to allow conservatives on to give the same amount to Donald Trump of campaign ads, which is pretty much what it is, everybody can give whatever much they want. And you can only do campaign ads, in a certain vein for a Democrat. Then you have to add all that up.
Right.
And suddenly you have to make filings for that stuff, and you can be sued, and you can go to jail.
And but Eli, you have another good comment here. That it boils down to this, like you were saying, you need to understand why they're doing this. And once you do understand why they're doing this, then you're not going to buy into their argument of it's a private company. And that is this. Eli Santiago says social media is what got Trump elected in 2016. So is Alex Jones. And the left realized this. That is why they are being censored in preparation for 2020. So when you get caught up in there, it's a private company, whatever, that's wrong. But getting caught up in that is their argument that allows them to continue to fraudulently censor. So that,
point.
I mean, come on. Like,
you
why
might
are
as
you
well
guys
just
fighting
be
for the
saying
other
Russia
side?
collusion.
It's silly.
Over and over again. This is what fascism looked like. This is the new witch burning. I saw her casting spells. Burn her. She's a witch. I'm not a witch. As they burn her. Deplatform them. They're hateful. I'm not hateful or racist. Burn them. That's what I said, because it reminds me of the hysteria that was around the Inquisition and witch burnings.
Right.
They're hateful. Just, you heard Anna Navarro. I hate them. I want them dead.
Yeah.
I want them gone. I hate them. I'm happy they're gone. I'm happy they're gone. I hate them. Did you see that evil that came out of her? She's supposedly the Republican on the...
Unbelievable.
No.
All right, so we do need to get to signing off. I got to get to, I don't know how much longer you have to go. I was going to go to Tractor with Kansas.
What time did it close at 8?
9.
Okay.
And I got to put the...
well, I had some other news.
Well, I was thinking we could just literally just make this show that, and then if you wanted to do something else, we could do something else.
Well, but I want to leave on something that's a little bit different.
Okay, so happy.
CNN's Camerata disheartened by Trump facing no consequences.
Now is Ann Milgram, former New Jersey Attorney General and CNN legal analyst. We have Joe Lockhart, former Clinton White House press secretary.
Okay. Can't fast forward. It's like best to just leave it.
And Kansas can't use his tools in the basement while we're in here. Unfortunately, that router is really loud.
They've broken my spirit is what Camerata said.
I'm telling you, Laura Loomer is literally on a death threat. You shouldn't get to that point in your life, or not death threat, death watch, suicide watch, whatever. I can speak. It's very sad that she is that caught up, but what they are doing is actually wrong enough for her to feel that way.
Right.
It's so wrong.
You're right. We do have a lot of other stuff we could cover. But why don't you just... I have a really cool recipe I want to share with you guys.
Okay. Is this warm?
Yeah. I'm gonna put it in the thing.
It smells so good. This is... I wish we had smell-o-vision.
I want Michelle to put this link in there. Okay. And you put that link in there for them.
Hold that.
Okay.
Smells so good.
So these are whole wheat, not all the way whole wheat, hot dog buns and hamburger buns that I made. And I want to share this recipe with you. It calls for white flour, but if you substitute...
Oh my gosh, it won't even let me do this.
Yeah, well.
Okay.
If you substitute, like a third of the flour is about what I did. 2 cups whole wheat to 4 or 5 cups of white flour. Anyways, this is the best recipe ever. They're all really fluffy.
Hang on, can I I'm going to pick the one I'm going to eat with dinner.
Okay.
And that, because I want to show them what this looks like on the
when
inside.
When
you open it. Like, it's super fluffy. Like, really, really fluffy.
So, Michelle's going to put this recipe in there. I haven't made anything this fluffy in a while. And they smell awesome. We just set this to the side.
Yeah.
On a happy note. Mom had me watch this from Dr. Steve Turley, Amish population explosion guarantees more conservatives in the world. That one was fun. And she also shared this one by Tim Pool. More than 2/3 of women on home duties with higher education do not want to return to the workforce. New survey says.
Nice.
Don't want to work. So they want to stay at home. They want to take care of their families. And I just love that that's like totally the anti-feminist of.
JoJo says, perhaps Laura can use her emotional state in a lawsuit against them. Ooh, Kelly had piglets. Is that on your YouTube? She sent me a link and I didn't get a chance to open it up today. We were busy.
Kelly had the most adorable piglets. I don't want to bring up my Facebook Messenger for everyone here. So I'll have to find another way to do it.
Go to Kelly PB Fam.
Does she post a
Kelly P-B _ FAM.
Of course.
Dale, why don't the Resistance chicks try to get a live stream interview with Laura Loomer? She's trying to expand her platform. I don't know that she's going to want to come to the platform that's censored, where no one will see it. Not no one. I don't mean you guys are no one, okay? You guys are someone. You're everything to us.
What is it, Kelly?
Okay.
How do you find it?
Kelly P-B _
That's hard to.
FAM. Nope. You got a space between FAM.
Well, it should find it. It should find it.
There she is.
Oh, that's
beautiful
us.
lady.
There we go.
Right there. I know. Boss Torres says, "Careful, Michelle. Leah will get upset that you're eating on air." But it's
how
something
did you
she
know?
made.
It really actually is annoying to me.
But she made it.
Let's see. I'm not seeing. Where's your video on the piglets? It's not up.
Where is it, Kelly?
We'll have to show it next time.
Okay.
So you're talking with your mouth full.
So rude. You do not do that. My mother raised me better than that.
Rude.
She totally did.
So hurtful to my ears. So yeah, I guess this is it. We have to sign off on this. We did 2.5. Why do you do that? Well, she can't speak. Please like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3. Ring the bell for notifications. Find us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Stop. Could you just wait till the show is over? You can wait till the show is over so you can speak with nothing in your mouth.
You're unbelievable.
I think they might give us all a grace period to talk and to talk about this until they start banning people. So we'll see. Go ahead and share it. They can't ban us all.
Song, please, girls.
We have a P.O. Box 107 45150, Milford, Ohio.
Send us your letters. I want to read them on air. I haven't had a letter. Your background, how you found us, whatever you feel like saying that we would read on air. Send them. You are aunties. 5 piglets, says Kelly.
Yay!
Fan-stinking-tastic.
I absolutely love it.
Assis says, text ban because the band defend and act to spread violence, hate speech, and so on. But it's easy to find real hate speech and crimes in Facebook. But they have left views, and Facebook says, no problem. No problem. Well said.
I was going to try to bring up the...
So there weren't very many comments on Facebook Live, which is why I didn't read them. Not that I was ignoring everybody over there.
They can't. They're afraid of being banned.
What do you got?
I was trying to bring up the Heritage Hill. You have to help me find out what's going on with my computer. Because, I can't... It does this, it does this all day, every day. For the past, several days. I can't get to anything.
Why can't we just sing it?
Well, I don't bring up the words so I can remember the words. I thought we'd play that, the acapella one, the Heritage Hill.
I have seen...
No, not that one.
That's a good one. What is that? What a man can do. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Evil.
I went down in the water. You can bring it up.
No, that's not.
Yeah. We went down to the river, went down to the lake. Okay. Washed on the water, oh, do it for the good Lord's sake.
No, that's not the right one. It has another name. Patriot Gallery left a comment. Wait. Piglets all spotted.
They are all spotted. They're adorable. They're absolutely adorable.
Let's see. I have seen what a man can do. Let's see if that comes up. Oh, yeah. Grace Part of the Nocturnals.
You have to look up the lyrics.
Nothing but the water.
Nothing but the water. I knew it was something about.
I can spell. All right, let's see. Got to be lyrics.
You need to put lyrics.
This is unbelievable. Mom, if you have comments to be read, they're not coming up.
When it doesn't come up, just hit the reload button. It will come up.
Your comment?
No. Her page will come up if she hits the reload.
Did you hit the reload?
But
Mom's trying to tell you.
I've done it a couple times.
All right, here we go. That is not the right word. That's not the right words.
Nope. Try again. Nope. That's not it. Go back.
This is unbelievable.
Nope. Go back. Go back to where you found it before. Go back where you found it before. Go back.
That's it. That was it.
No.
That's it.
What was more?
This is so funny. Why don't we do? Why can't we sing it without that?
I don't know all the words.
Oh my gosh.
Nothing but the water gonna wash my soul. See, I don't see. Mom says it doesn't load. See, put in nothing but the water gonna wash my soul clean. Something should come up.
That's
my computer is not working. Like,
people ask for a song.
Well, and I think honestly, this for some reason the internet on this one is crazy.
This has got to be it. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Y'all ask for a song. If you're sticking around, I hope it's worth it.
I have seen what man can do when the evil lives inside of you. Many are the weak and the strong are few, but with the water we'll start anew. Won't you take me down to the levee? Take me down to the stream. Take me down to the water. We're gonna wash our souls clean. Take me down to the river. Take me down to the lake. Yes, we'll all go together. We're gonna do it for the good Lord's sake. I have fallen so many times for the devil's sweet cunning rhymes, and this old world has brought me pain, but there's hope for me again. Oh, won't you take me down to the levee? Take me down to the stream. Take me down to the water. We're gonna wash our souls clean. Take me down to the river. Take me down to the lake. Yes, we'll all go together. We're gonna do it for the good Lord's sake. Tried my hand at the Bible. Tried my hand at prayer. But there's nothing but the water is gonna bring my soul to bear.
Hot dog. Love that one. That's a really, really good one.
That's
really fun to sing.
Alex was on today, and he's actually kind of fired up and excited.
He should be.
He had on the lawyer that's always famous on Twitter, and you guys, he's was really there with the Covington Catholic kids.
Yeah.
And he's going to help Alex sue.
Awesome.
And I am praying to Jesus that this blows off their mask and that the devil gets put under. And I need y'all to get with it in faith. You know what? It's called faith.
Yeah.
Because
Have
even if
faith,
you
faith,
believe
faith.
that tech companies have a right to do this,
right,
under God, you know that they don't.
Amen.
So don't we just serve a bigger God? And can't we say, hey, God, it's wrong?
Right.
God, fix it?
Yes.
You know, we got a flag out there. It's called the Appeal to Heaven flag. And when man's laws won't work, then you appeal to heaven.
Right.
And right now, there aren't good laws set up.
Right.
But I believe we can challenge something that goes against the laws of nature, nature's God, and goes against the laws of God. Did God want Alex Jones off of Facebook and Twitter and YouTube? No. Obviously not. He helped take down Hillary. He exposed us. He helped red pill. Do you know how many red pills I've taken from Alex Jones?
That's true. Me too.
I have taken so many. He has people on, and I'm just like, oh my word. Oh my word. And I look it up. I'm like, he's right. You know, the gay frogs is a real thing. Endocrine disruptors. You know, a lot of soy boys out there. And I've got to pray that God will fix it, but he gets the truth out there. I did not know that Japan banned the MMR vaccine.
Yeah.
Alex taught me that. Do you know how much Alex has taught millions of people? He is freely handing out red pills to people. And those red pills are leading to Jesus.
Yeah.
He is a Christian, and he believes in the truth, and he does not get it all right.
Right.
But he is filled with the power of God. He's filled with the love of God. He's filled with the anointing of God. And when people were losing hope with Donald Trump, he helped people have hope.
Right.
He's always helping people have hope.
Yep.
I love his show because he comes on, he gets angry, he's upset. And he asked Robert Barnes, what his name is, their lawyer, why us? Why InfoWars? And I know why. They literally say we're on the front lines of the InfoWar.
Right.
Everything, you guys, they were getting news 2 weeks ahead of time. And first of all, they made it embarrassing to go on Alex Jones. They painted him as like the Sandy Hook denier.
And that wasn't enough. And that's the thing. That's what made them angry. They had to take it the step further. If they want to say, you know what, Alex Jones is cuckoo or crazy or whatever in their publications, they have every right to do that. You know, they can do that.
David Icke, reptilian guy, still on all these sites.
And that's so weird.
He's off. You guys have to recognize Alex Jones is off because he helped get Donald Trump elected, because he literally swayed millions of people to vote for Donald Trump.
Right.
Millions of people. Alex Jones convinced millions of people to vote for Donald Trump. And Hillary Clinton, he is number one, hit list that she wants gone. And the lefties want him gone. And God doesn't want him gone. You guys, we're called resistance chicks because of Alex Jones. He said, you are the resistance. Mom was watching Alex Jones. Mom would play him on I didn't know who this guy was. InfoWars links were being shared all over Facebook. I couldn't believe it.
Right.
I love this guy. I love Alex Jones because his heart, he's real. He's a real deal. He may be wrong, but he's real about it. He's not fake. Ben Shapiro is fake as all get out. He will suck up to everybody.
Lance says, why not want the free market to make a better platform? We do. We are on every alternate platform. But I'm going to tell you something. Everybody keeps saying, why don't you girls I'm hearing this, leave Facebook. Well, I would leave Facebook for this, I would leave YouTube for the same reasons that I would leave Facebook. And I'm going to bet that maybe 35% of you guys would follow us there, and we would get no new views. Mm-hmm. And that would be okay. We love you guys, and I'm glad that 35% of you would follow us there, of our regular viewers, not 35% of our 11 or 12,000 subscribers, but 35% of our 400 views that we get per video, you would probably follow us there. Okay?
YouTube is where everybody's at. Facebook is where everybody's at.
It's not that way. We would love it to be that we could go someplace else
and people would still find us. It's like trying to use a telephone company and it's only connected to like 20 people, and the rest of your friends and family aren't connected to that same telephone company.
Exactly.
Like, go to another one. But how do I get a hold of all my friends and family? How do I get a hold of my, other people? It's like,
all right. We're going to sign off. I think you guys get the point by now. If not, I don't know what to tell you. But we love you, and we want you to keep coming back. You can come back on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for European and UK news, where we're going to talk about Julian Assange. We're going to talk about the local elections that were just held today in the UK, and so much more.
So much more. Remember, it's not just a conspiracy theory. It was the truth that they're banning conservatives and right-leaning people so they can influence the 2020 election.
Absolutely. We love you. God loves you. God bless. I was cold all alone. Your place